Religion has to be one of the biggest psyops in history. It has to be one of the biggest psyops in history. And it's one of those just extremely irritating issues because it just feels like a waste of time. A waste of time, a waste of energy. And this is coming from a person that grew up in a church, that came into his own and had magical thoughts, got into mysticism, got into occultism. This isn't a person that just is an atheist. Even to this day, I'm not an atheist. And that brings me to the point, like, the whole idea of morality, unless you have religion or Christianity, you can't understand morality or I guess the foundation of your morality is non-existent to a Christian, which is insane to me because, you know, I've expressed this before. You don't need religion for morality. You're still going to have morality, and you're still going to have this, I don't know, gut instinct of or this concept of right and wrong without religion. And although that may change from culture to culture, it's there. It's something there. And even with religion, you can still argue morality and interpret different circumstances and biblical text in a way that's favorable for you, or just as in a way that's clustered in a particular community. And when you leave that community, you know, another group may think that's right, another group may think it's wrong, regardless. So if that's the argument, like religion is the foundation of all morality, or Christianity is the basis of morality from that framework, then still people can still interpret those concepts how they feel, and there'd be no argument. There could be no argument because there's no way to prove it. These are abstract concepts that we create. That may not be something that many people want to hear, but it's the truth. It's something that we create. You know what I mean? That's why you're able to do something, and there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it, because it's still a part of the laws of nature. That even every heinous act, whether you like it or hate it, I don't have to like it. It's there. It's an option. And you see it in the animal kingdom. That's why I always take it back to the animal kingdom and human beings on our forelimbs, evolving out of this primitive species, because that's closest. I'm not saying I'm just an evolutionist, but that's closest to the truth with, you know, when it comes to my research. You know, a lot of people obviously have different feelings on evolution, and they've debunked evolution or the out of Africa feeling, but their models suck. Their models are fucking trash. And when you use medicine, when you go into medicine, you go into other fields of study, they corroborate evolution. What do I mean by that? If a hypothesis is assumed, and at a certain point in time, they end up finding out that the hypothesis is true. You know, they prove it using a evolution model, and they corroborate each other. Well, fuck. Well, fuck, dude. That it is what it is. Not to mention carbon dating methods and other dating methods and other ways of proving that the planet is fucking millions of years old and it was a hot ass ball. You know what I mean? It was a hot ass ball. There are a few ways of coming to that conclusion, you know. And if you don't believe it, okay, fine, you don't have to believe it, but that doesn't make its evidence extremely strong. That doesn't mean that people who utilize the model in objective reality to corroborate fucking medicine that you are going to believe in when you get sick, you believe in medicine but you don't believe in evolution, then it is what it is. And then you got all of these other, just be quiet. You got all of these other justifications. Like, well, God did it. And they just move the goalposts further and further. That's why I liked it. Neil deGrasse Tyson's, I watched a little thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to Steve Harvey's dumbass dude. And the education, I don't want to segue too much, but the education system in America is so cooked. You got these politicians who are anti-science. America is going to get so passed up during this collapse. It's going to get passed up, and it's going to be due to their arrogance and their stupidity. Because you've gone against reality, my boy. You've gone against objective reality. But they just push the goalposts further and further. Because I watch these losers. But yeah, I watch these losers get annihilated in debates all the time by people who are qualified, to the point where they have to go on podcasts or manipulate videos to make it look like they're actually owning the opposition, but they're stupid as hell. They don't know anything. All they do, they specialize in making people feel good, at sweet nothings, just whispering in your ear. They're very poetic. That's why I did a piece about figures of speech. Largely, figures of speech aren't useful. That was my main argument. Figures of speeches serve as an instrument as a metaphor to get a point across. They were never supposed to be taken literally, but now we live in a time period where people's attention span is so short, and they don't have the capability to critically think, that they take fucking a figure of speech as a gospel. This is the time period that we're living in. You know what I mean? They take a figure of speech as a gospel. That's exactly how religion is. It's just poetic nothingness, and it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't do anything for you in the real world. That's why I think a lot of men are leaving the church, because women are in the church because it makes them feel good about their week. Women are very intuitive. But if you study yin and yang, you know you need balance. If you're too intuitive, that you can get lost in that intuition. You can get lost in your own mind. And then arrogance plays a role. Ego plays a role. Nobody wants to admit they're wrong. Nobody wants to admit they don't know. I don't fucking know, but I know that shit is far-fetched. And it's just annoying, because you go 10, 20, 30 years of hearing the same bullshit, and it's like nothing's happened yet. There is no rapture. Whatever you're gonna do it. A girl just got raped. They're doing all kind of crazy shit, because I watch these true crime shows. Heinous shit. But yeah, whatever you're gonna do, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. We don't want to play anymore. We're tired. We don't want to do it anymore. You came down. You got this. Boy, this belief system, bro. This belief system, bro. It's so fucking crazy, bro. Like, the mental gymnastics you have to go through to believe this shit. Just to believe this shit. I gotta go through Moses. I gotta go through Abraham. I gotta go through Noah. I got to go through the prophets, the Old Testament, the New Testament. All for what, bro? Do what you're going to do. If it's true, do what you're going to do. Put all of the evil people in hell, put all of the good people in heaven. What are you doing? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. But I went too far off track. Like when I was talking about earlier, when I was talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to Steve Harvey's dumbass. Yes, again, dumbass. Like these comedians and celebrities and stuff, we just need to boycott them. All of them. All of them. They're so stupid. They don't bring anything to us. These stupid rappers, these stupid people, the musicians, the actors, all of them. I don't understand. Like, useless. The entire planet is fucking poor as fuck, living off I think half the world is living off like $10 a day. And then you get these motherfucking fools that we gotta pay attention to because they're millionaires. LeBron and all of these people. Who cares? Who cares? Like, forget these people. God, who cares about these people? But like I was saying before I get too off track yet again, you get this idiot Steve Harvey talking about the concept of oh man, it's slipping my mind. God of the gaps. God of the gaps. That's what it was. And Neil and he heard, obviously Neil deGrasse Tyson explained it to him, and he was like, "What? Oh my God!" So Neil had to slow down and explain it to him. You know, basically the concept of anything that science hasn't caught up to yet and doesn't have an answer for it doesn't necessarily mean God did it. It's just science has yet to have an answer, and if science does eventually have an answer, then that's another gap filled. You understand? So that means God of the gaps. And that brings me to the point again about these fools moving the goalpost, because that's just going to make them move the goalpost even more. Like, so if you tell them, well, God didn't do that, I got an answer for it, it's this thing, then they're going to still be like, this is them pushing the goalpost again, another logical fallacy. They're going to push the goalpost again and be like, well, God did it, and God, he placed it into the hearts of men to find this out. So you can't win with these people. This is a delusional people, even though oftentimes you can find a model, some model somewhere, whether it's the Orthodox Church, it's the Catholic Church, or it's these dumbass Protestants that have a science behind it. Didn't know that, huh? So a lot of the times, I'm not about to put, any details, but a lot of times it's already biblical science. Like, for an example, I'll go ahead and give a quick example. The creation of the fucking heavens and earth. Well, it didn't happen in 6 days or 7 days. We know that. So you move the goalposts even more, right? And forgetting that you have what are they called? People in the church, ancient people in the church, forgot what they're called, scribes and people in the church who had a science for it already, fool. They already had an answer for it. Now that answer has been explained by reality and science, you got to move the goalpost. So you get somebody else who comes around and who's like, well, God gave them the answer. Well, why doesn't it match the old model? Now you got to change that whole model up. Well, is that in the Bible? Some of it is. Some of it's in the Bible. So what do you do about that? They in the Bible, it hints at Earth being a flat plane. Well, we know that ain't true. And if you believe that's true and you're trying to argue established science, I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. Like, I'm not going to I don't think that we should hold debates over things that is a closed argument. It's a fucking closed argument. Why am I arguing something that isn't debatable? It's not debatable. It's not something that you get to disagree with, unless you can be delusional all day, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's kind of my argument. It's like, this is stupid. But, this is my point. I've been talking for 15 minutes, which I know it isn't a long time, but it's too long. I mean, I could have made a video about something important. About, I don't know, the wealth gap. The fact that, the minerals and the earth minerals and shit are being used irresponsibly, and you ain't gonna have them shits. We're not gonna have them shits for the next generation, or maybe the generation after that. I don't know. Y'all can argue in the comment section. Like something important, like I don't know, something that actually would benefit us, that would do something for you. This isn't going to do anything. This is just an intense conversation about nothing, about absolutely nothing. And that's my point. Like, we'll waste all the time. We could have done organized. We could have done made a business. We could have did a lot of shit, but you're at church every week doing nothing, screaming and hollering and acting a fool. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on. Screaming and hollering and faking the Holy Ghost. Y'all ain't even no real believers, bro. Prosperity pimps, scandals everywhere you turn. Y'all aren't even real believers. And the argument, I know what that is going to be like, that's the that's only certain pastors. That's not the grassroots. It's all of them, dude. It's all of them. It's just different levels of it. Like, you have people with mega churches and you have people with a small congregation, whether you're in a mega church in Texas or you're in a small ass little bitty church in North Carolina that's brainwashed that community. Because like I said, these groups nest. And y'all don't find it funny. You guys don't find it funny. These people are nested all in one area. Think about this. Think about what I'm about to say. The least educated, the most people with STD rates, the most Christianity, all nested in one area, but under the Mason-Dixon line, under like the Bible Belt or some shit. Dumbest people in the world. Dumb white trash and niggas. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Dumbass niggas and dumb white trash who can just be manipulated. The people who are educated, they're off making money, doing their thing. These people down here are trapped in this belief system because they don't have the process. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if they have the capacity, bro. Like, I don't even know if they have the capability of thinking deeper. I don't know. Because they're so easily manipulated by tradition and these concepts. Like I said, most STD rates, least educated. It's a few other stats that aren't good, and they're nested all in one area in the Deep South. Just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. In the Deep South. Not saying that you don't have Christians all over the world. You don't have Christians up north. You don't have Christians on the West Coast. You have a lot of them. Yeah. But the majority of them, and what I'm saying is in these, along with these other circumstances that they're facing, these other challenges that they're facing, that's another one. They're also very religious. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all don't think that's a coincidence? Y'all don't think that I'm sorry. Y'all think that that's just a coincidence, huh? That the stupidest people are Christians. The stupidest. The dumbest people, lowest IQ people, since that's a conversation too, about the IQs. right? IQs. I'm gonna have a conversation about that later on too. You know what I mean? Dumbest motherfuckers in the world. You can't get your needs met or nothing. Politicians pimping your dumb ass. You voting against your own interests. What stupid people. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, man.